I feel so strongly that the reason I'm here is I dreamed big dreams. I dreamed the kind of dreams that other people said would not be possible. I'm also living proof. This isn't a Hollywood movie. I come literally from the other side of the tracks. If you saw where I grew up and we took a picture of it, the neighborhood, the setting, you'd say it's impossible that someone could come from there and get here. But it is possible. And not to sound too trite, it's possible because we still live in a country where the entrepreneurial spirit is so alive and so well. And anyone in this country, if you dream big and surround yourself with great people and leave your ego at the door and share success with others and have a little luck along the way, you can do anything.
Anything you could think of.
Grow or die was the basic central premise that we were working with. That if you don't grow, you will perish. There's one relationship that you have to maintain, and that's the one with you, right? And it's like, if you're not loving you, if you're not taking care of you, everything and everybody is second to you taking care of you. First and foremost, when you are steady and calm in yourself, it makes it easier to manage the insanity that other people are going to bring to you. The core of how things are created in the universe is through collision. You know, so you got to be prepared to collide if you want to create something. Only sustainable mission throughout your whole existence is to improve lives. And as soon as I made the shift in my mind from trying to be big and trying to have money and trying to be popular to making sure that I improved lives every step of the way on this earth, then all of a sudden I started experiencing healing.
We pass safely through the darkest valley. Dreams are the inner flame in your soul.
If you could actually think of it, it means you can do it, right? Does that make sense?
You spend so much time with other people. You spend so much time trying to get people to like you. You know other people more than you know yourself. You studied them. You know about them. You want to hang out like them. You want to be just like them. And you know what? You've invested so much time in them, you don't know who you are. I challenge you to spend time by yourself.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
Do we dare to dream? What is a dream? Do you dare to dream when others say it's impossible? Do you dare to dream when others live in doubt and despair? Jesus Christ, the author and the finisher of our faith, said all things, say that with me, all things.
What are you going to feel like in a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, when you die? What are you going to be saying? Because I can promise you, bro, that dream ain't going away. That dream was placed in your heart and in your mind by God. It is your purpose, and you are obligated to go build it. And for you to go build that, it's going to require executing when you don't feel like it. So you better just go out and figure this out right now. It's discipline, it's not motivation. Look around at your life. If you can't go from looking around at your life, then just expect your life to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And in 20 years, you're gonna be saying, I should have went.
It means that you have the ability to do it. Why? Because the brain would never think of something that it could not do. So I had this young man come to me the other day. He was kind of discouraged a little bit. You know, I've been mentoring him. He comes by my office and we spend time together. You know, I could tell he was discouraged. I said, what's wrong? He said, man, my dreams are too big. E.T., you think my dreams are too big, E.T.? I said, why you say that? And I could tell he was talking to a parent.
The only way you create change is changing what you link pain and what you link pleasure to in your nervous system, not just in your head, in your gut. That's what controls you. Lots of times in your head, you know what you should do, but your gut takes over. Your fear or your greed or your desire or your comfort or whatever.
I kept saying this to myself on repeat. There is no way, Mel, if you've worked this hard, that you will not be rewarded. You have to believe that this moment is preparing you for something amazing that hasn't happened yet. Keep going. And so I repeated that over and over and over and over and over again as I wanted to throw in the towel, as I would start to bash myself, as I would start to feel sorry for myself and be like, nope, there's just no way I'm going to believe that something amazing isn't going to happen. I've worked too hard. Something amazing that hasn't happened is coming.
Your success is deeply intertwined with your belief in your capabilities. Our beliefs dictate our actions, and our actions dictate our results. If you believe you can improve, succeed, or make a difference, then you are more likely to take the necessary steps to make that happen.
Take it personal. And my personal question to you is, why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years. You can make your dreams come true. You can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through. You can become healthy. You can become powerful. Why not you?
If you're going to be successful in creating the life of your dreams, you have to believe that you are capable of making it happen. You have to believe that you have the right stuff and that you're able to pull it off. Now, whether you call it self-esteem, self-confidence, or self-assurance, it's a deep-seated belief that you have what it takes, the abilities, the inner resources, the talents, and the skills to create your desired results. Now, believing in yourself is simply an attitude. Believing in yourself is a choice. You have to choose to believe that you can do anything you set your mind to, anything at all, because, in fact, you can.
The world really is a mirror, and it reflects not what we want, it reflects who you are. When you continue this inner work, install better beliefs, clean out emotional baggage and trauma, and practice more of the higher emotions of gratitude and enthusiasm and love and awe and wonder.
You see, your future determines your thinking today. Your thinking today determines your performance today. Your performance today has a strong bearing on what that future is going to be. The way you see the future is more important than what has happened in the past. Today is a brand new day. This is the day that you can make the decisions that will make such an incredible difference in your life. The way that you look at that future is so important, but you got to plan for it. You were born to win, that's true. But in order to be the winner you were born to be, you got to plan to win, you got to prepare to win. And then and only then can you legitimately expect to win.
As soon as you plant the garden, the busy bugs and the noxious weeds are out to take it. And you've got to learn not only to nourish your values, you've got to learn to do battle with your enemies. Whatever threatens you, I'm asking you to threaten it back. Take care of your responsibility, but don't take anything off of anybody. Somebody wants to destroy your chances for a good future by their negative talk, negative thinking, walk away if you have to, walk away. Now, some of our enemies are on the outside, but here's the most important thing to understand. Some of our enemies are on the inside. Let me give you a quick list. Indifference. You got to do battle with your own indifference. Indecision. You got to make those decisions. The ones that don't turn out to be good gives you experience to make better decisions. The next one is doubt. Sure, there's doubts on the outside. People doubt that America's going to make it. I'm asking you to have some faith, have some courage, believe. And here's the most important one of all. Don't doubt yourself. I'll do it or die. See, that's powerful. That could be the day that turns your life around. The world has a strange way of stepping aside when somebody says, I'll do it or die. The man says, I will climb the mountain. They've told me it's too high, it's too far, it's too rocky, it's too difficult, it's never been done before, but it's my mountain, I will climb it. Pretty soon you'll see me waving from the top, or dead on the side, because I ain't coming back.
You see, you are what you are and where you are because of what's gone into your mind. You can change what you are, you can change where you are by changing what goes into your mind. 98% of the people in our Western civilization have a picture of themselves which is so narrow and so shallow that it literally bears no resemblance to the real person who is there. So many people have been told so many times what they cannot do that they have no idea what they can do. They have no idea what they want in life because they have no idea what is available to them. The picture they have of themselves will not permit themselves to see some of the magnificent things that are available.
The only beliefs that make any sense are the beliefs that will take you from where you are to where you want to go. So what are the beliefs that successful people believe? You know, look at Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty, you know, sexually abused as a child, but she believed that she could get to where she wanted to go. Someone else without that belief didn't try. So simply the belief, and it's a choice. Everything is a binary choice. You're either believing something that takes you where you want to go or something that takes you away from where you want to go.
I can't get apart. I can't get apart. I can't get apart, right? Or I can't do this versus I'm going to keep doing this. It's your choice how you choose to perceive your own career. It's literally perspective.
See, you can do anything. You can get up any hour, read any book, take any class, make any change, develop any skill, do any discipline. I mean, you can do it all. When this how and the why, or when the why starts to grow, the how gets simple.
I started taking my own advice and I said, I'm getting out of the brokerage business. I've been telling people for a long time, if you're doing something that you're not passionate about or committed to, then you're compromising yourself every day. One day, all of us, we're going to get to a stretch of road where there's no maps, no road signs, and no GPS. There's going to be a fork in this road. And one way is going to say, I'm scared and don't know what to do. The other way is going to say, I'm scared, but I'm stepping out on faith. That's the road you got to take. And when you push your way, sometimes you just need to make a good, clean break. You can't get to the next chapter without turning some pages. I mean, a lot of us would just like to read like this. It don't work like that.
You know the only difference in steam and ice is the state of vibration of the water or the H2O. Do you know the only difference in where you are versus where you want to go is your state of vibration? Do you know that everything to get you there is already here? You know what it is you want, and you ask yourself, what habits do I need to form or develop to bridge the gap from where I now find myself to the point I want to reach?
Make this note. Don't become a victim of yourself, even if you have to fight the enemies that are within yourself. Forget the thief in the alley that's after your purse. What about the thief in your mind that's after your promise?
It can be pretty easy to focus on the battle that's right in front of your face. And when you're doing that, sometimes you can lose track of the long-term goal. But I want to have that long-term goal so embedded in my mind that I never lose sight of it. Ever. And those little tasks and projects and short-term goals that you tackle, they need to lead toward that strategic victory. Winning the long war.
If your daddy got a PhD, you can at least do what? You can at least graduate from high school. Let me tell you something, I told my son, we got a lot riding on you, and I'm telling you, greatness is here, but it ain't on Cam's shoulders no more. It ain't on Farley's shoulder no more. It ain't on Bo Jackson's shoulder no more. Now greatness is on whose shoulder? That's why I wake up every morning at 2 o'clock, 2:30, because I got my mama counting on me. I got my sister counting on me. I got my son and my daughter counting on me. I got a world that gets up every morning and watches me. I got little kids who don't believe that they can do it. When they saw me, they thought now they can do it. So I get up every morning at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Why? Because greatness is upon me. Dr. King is dead. Malcolm X is dead. I'm that new guy. I'm that new inspiration. I'm the guy you look at when your daddy ain't in your life, when your daddy in prison. I'm that guy that comes to your high school and tell you, you can make it happen. Greatness is upon you. You better act like it.
The first rule of success is to have a vision. If you don't have a vision of where you go, and if you don't have a goal where you go, you drift around and you never end up anywhere. It's like you can have the best ship in the world, you can have the best airplane in the world. If the pilot or the captain doesn't know where to go, it would just drift around. It would not end up anywhere, or most likely in the wrong place.
It's always the feeling when you're getting ready to, people give up right before they get what they've always wanted to get. People quit and they give up. That's your moment. That's your moment. When you're feeling the most trapped and down and nothing can go right, I feel like those are the moments that define you. Just hold on. Just endure. Look at things differently. Challenge yourself to look at things as the glass half full.
I had a dream and I had goals that I wanted to accomplish, right? And if I don't accomplish those goals, I have to ask myself why, right? And so from my position, the reason why I would not have accomplished those things is poor leadership, failure to communicate properly with my teammates to put them in positions to be successful, lack of preparation. All those things would be reasons why I don't win, right? So now, if that was the case, and in my career, I have to sit and I have to analyze that, and then as I move and I evolve, post basketball into business or whatever, those same weaknesses are going to reveal themselves there, right? So if I don't learn from that, I'm going to struggle here too, right? So I can take those situations and learn from those and have them, make me a better person later in life. But if I don't take that stuff and apply that someplace else, then that's failing, which to me is the worst.
That is actually the dream. That's the dream.
What do you say to the men around the world who are watching this interview from someone who is their hero, regardless if it's from the screen?
Thank you. Stay on your knees. Watch me, but listen to God. Don't listen to me. I hope that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart are pleasing in God's sight, but I'm human. I'm just like you. What I have will not keep me on this earth for one more day. I never looked at things as problems. I look at them as opportunities. Maybe that's something I can say. Someone, but she did this, and well, what an opportunity you have. Yeah, well, the world, because they said this and CNN said that. Yeah, well, what an opportunity you have to make a difference, because you never know who's watching.
Every time you face a challenge, it's a chance to give up or to get stronger, smarter, faster, tougher, and more resilient. You need to find a reason to keep going. If you can find that reason, you can push through anything, because you're human. And humans have the strength to overcome whatever they face if they choose to push through it.
If there's anything in life that you don't currently have right now, it's because of who you are and how you think. All right, what I need you to do is I need you to find a reason to keep going. And if you can find a reason to keep going, I know you're strong enough to do it because you're human. And every human has what it takes to get past whatever they're going through if they decide to. Push through it. Push through it. Tragedy and trials come to everybody. Only the strong survive. Listen to me very closely. Y'all running from obstacles when in fact it's the obstacle that's going to take you to the next level. I do want to say this to those of you who are watching who are not yet where you want to be. Keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. You're already in pain. You're already struggling. Get something for your pain. It doesn't make sense to go through pain and then not get nothing on the other side of it.
When things go wrong, they always seem to happen at once, and they just compound on top of each other. And it's pretty easy sometimes to feel beaten when you're faced with all those issues and all those problems, and they all hit you at the same time. But let me tell you, that doesn't mean give up. In fact, it means the opposite. It means it's time for you to fight harder, to dig in. It means it's time for you to go on the war path.
Because I realized once I was talking to myself the right way and all this shit wasn't in my mind, wow, I went from this piece of shit kid who thought he was dumb, not successful, insecure, who stuttered when I first saw somebody, to a person who can now do all these things just because I now control my own mind.
So one of the things I encourage you is work fast, work intensely, work hard when you work, and then enjoy life and play.
One of the things that A players do, that leaders without titles do, that iconic human beings do, is they develop a resilience or a hardiness in the face of fear.
Everything changed for me when I understood this philosophy. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. If you can multiply your value by 3, by 5, you can easily multiply your income by 3, by 5, by 10. But the key to doing it is to work hard on yourself.
A story I remember reading in an Osho book a while ago. So there was this man and he was a mountain climber. So he climbed the mountain and he reached the summit, but he sort of misjudged the timing and it became dark. And so he made his way down the mountain as the sun set, but he got to a place where it became so dark he couldn't move. And he thought he was on this ledge and he just became paralyzed by fear. He just realized that, if he moved a few inches over, he would fall thousands and thousands of meters or feet to his death. And so all night, that was the most terrifying night of his life. He was on this ledge. He couldn't even move forward because he thought he'd fall. And he just stayed there, frozen, for hours and hours and hours. And then with the first rays of daylight, he started to laugh. And the reason he started to laugh was he realized just below the ledge, there was this huge stone platform. There was no danger whatsoever. It was just his perception of fear that caused him to feel terrified.
Talk about manifesting. It's fucking real, man. Manifesting is real. When you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest, most of these people end up doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. It's real. And there's no excuses. There's no not willing to grind and everybody's against me and this didn't happen for me because of all this whining. It's these people who dive in and they're hardcore and they're focused and they know what they want. They know who they are. And they lay out these short-term goals and this roadmap on how to get there. Most of those people make it.
Working hard on yourself, personality and temperament and mindset, talked about culture, all the stuff necessary to individually be responsible, be a growing, attractive, powerful, skillful, communicating human being. And the world belongs to you.
When I was going through the darkest period of my life in 2020, 6 months of sleep deprivation and hallucinations after 3 years of chemotherapy, I was in a bad place, very bad place, very dark place. What got me through it was, one was gratitude, and the other was perspective. And the perspective that I took is that it was, maybe like every other experience in my life that was difficult, painful, seemingly unbearable or insurmountable. Maybe what I'm going through now, and I want you to apply these words to your life right now. Maybe what I'm going through now is so that I can overcome this seemingly insurmountable challenge in service of my fellow human beings.
Losing your temper is weak. It's actually weak. It's actually weak to lose your temper. It actually is a loss of control when you lose your temper, and losing control is also weak. So we don't want to lose our temper. That's one of our goals. So again, just like prioritize and execute, what do you do when you start feeling yourself losing your temper? Stop, take a step back, detach from it, breathe. And then you got to think about the long-term victory. And we've talked about this before.
Guys off of just pure brute strength and intimidation. Most guys were just pretty much intimidated. They lost the fight before they even got hit. Most guys. I knew the art of skullduggery. These guys, I knew how to beat these guys psychologically before I even got in the ring with them. As soon as I come into the ring, I'm gloved. No, stop it. That's not true. While I'm in the dressing room, 5 minutes before I come out, my gloves are laced up. I'm breaking my gloves down. I'm pushing the lever at the back of my glove, breaking the middle of the glove so my knuckle could pierce through the leather. I feel my knuckle piercing against the tight leather gloves on the Everlast boxing glove. When I come out, I have supreme confidence, but I'm scared to death. I'm totally afraid. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being humiliated, but I'm totally confident. The closer I get to the ring, the more confidence I get.
My whole life growing up as a kid, everyone always told me that I could never, and they were like, you'll never be a Navy SEAL. You know, until I graduated, it's like, you won't make it. You won't ever make it. No one can stop you from doing anything, ever, if you're committed to yourself. I got people coming up to me sometimes and just like, you know what, I could never do this, or I couldn't do that. And I just want to, if you come out of the gate telling yourself that you can't do something, then you're already done.
Once you start questioning yourself, you already lost. Once you start questioning yourself, once you start going into a state of depression and you start being by yourself and you start thinking and wondering, once you start wondering, you already lost. Even if you don't believe. I'm the best right now. And if you want to go through motivational speaking, you got to go through me. Ain't nobody doing it like this. They all wear shirt and tie. Ain't nobody bring hip hop to motivation. I must be the greatest. I shook up motivational speaking. I changed the whole genre. I must be the greatest, not because I'm cocky, but I gotta tell myself I'm the best if I'm gonna be the best. I gotta believe in me before anybody else believe in me.
You know, disappointment to me, to win, you gotta lose. To be successful, you gotta have something that's not successful. To be happy, you gotta have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am, and understand the benefits and the privileges I have from being who I am.
It sucks to lose. Right. But at the same time, there are answers there if you just look at them. I mean, the answers are there when you win, too. You just have to look at them. Yeah. Right? So it's a constant process. It's exciting when you win. It's exciting when you lose, because the process should be exactly the same, whether you win or you lose.
I've never met a person who was not successful that didn't have a great amount of self-discipline within their life. Self-discipline and being able to perform and being able to keep your life on schedule and being able to keep commitments and promises and meet deadlines is essential to success.
Discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire, but discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself.
I think it's important to note that the Stoics are talking about self-discipline. Discipline is not the Marine sergeant telling everyone else what to do, how to be. The Stoics are talking about the virtue of self-discipline, which is you have your standard that you selected for yourself, that you are living up to.
Everything I've ever done in my life, I didn't want to do. Everything, every day. I'm a lazy piece of shit. And I'm one of the hardest working people that ever stepped foot on this planet Earth. And I'm saying that very proudly because I know what I do. It's not cocky. I'll tell you I'm stupid. And I'll also tell you the exact opposite of what I've done. It's the truth. It is the truth.
I fight against that. You know, it's the big challenge. It's when you're not willing to do something, but you have to do it. This is the main point. This is why I say our mind, it's a box of surprises, and you have to challenge yourself to be consistent. I repeat, sometimes it's hard. It's what many people say, you like to go to the gym every day. Of course not. It's not true. Nobody likes to go to the gym every day. But you have to do it. Probably yes, because your mental strength is coming from that moments that in a hard moments, you know you should do it. So, and I do it.
This is something that I've actually relied on a little bit myself. Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win. And this relates to another one, which is a reminder for the gladiators in the arena who feel beat up and scarred with no hope in sight. Building a business is hard. Hard feels shitty. This is what hard feels like. And this is why most people can't do it, but you can. This is what hard feels like. Is so fucking nice to lean on. It is so nice to lean on.
You have to remember, all success starts with self-discipline. It starts with you. Abraham Lincoln said, discipline is choosing between what you want now at what you want most, you only have two options. Suffer the pain of discipline or suffer the pain of regret. The choice is yours.
Most men walk the earth with this lone wolf mentality, right? We view the lone wolf as strong, right? The lone wolf is strong. He can handle everything on his own. I think if most men really understood what happens to the lone wolf, because his fate isn't pretty, the lone wolf dies. The pack is strong because of the wolf, and the wolf is strong because of the pack. Most men are living this quiet life of desperation and isolation where we're surrounded physically by other men, but mentally and emotionally and through conversation and learning, we don't have those iron sharpen iron relationships. We have like these more rusty relationships. So the Alliance, you know, it's a community we've had since 2016. And what it is it's a community of men who are honorable, who are hungry, humble, and ungodly and perfect. We want to optimize our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. You can't do that all by yourself.
Before my car accident, my teenage years, then the first woman I ever loved, we had a big breakup, and that breakup sent me down in depression and suicidal planning. And it's tough to dispense advice to people other than get help. And I'll share why. Because that time in my life, I had so many people coming up to me, you know, my friends would come into my dorm room, and Brian, let's go do something. And the hope is lost. And what people, I think, make the mistake of trying to do is hype people up. Everything's gonna be okay, you're gonna be great. And what people need who are suicidal is serious psychological intervention. They need to seek support and help.
Put the phone away for 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes. Just put it across the room or in another room. Sit down, pick a point on the wall, and just try and relax while maintaining visual focus for 120 seconds on a location. You can blink if you want to. What you'll find is it's incredibly boring and agitating. Like most things you need to focus on and have a hard time focusing on. Just a little bit of focus training for 2-3 minutes every once in a while will teach you to recognize when you have that impulse to get up and move. And what you'll find is that it carries over to a really terrific ability to read, to study, to listen. And you start to notice those internal signals. There's something you need to do and you don't want to do it, or you can't focus. Chances are you just haven't really taught your brain how to focus. So start with your visual focus and then let your mental focus follow that.
He said that male depression gets treated like female depression. Men are made to feel loved and accepted when they want to feel capable and powerful. And the problem that we had there was that you were treating male depression and male mental health like female depression.
And your brain is the most powerful weapon. I talk about that in one of these chapters. Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, you're going through death, real life shit. You can't Google that shit, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're fucked. You gotta tell your brain where you wanna go and how you wanna go and how you wanna get there. You gotta control it.
They anesthetized them, and so the backup did nothing. A year later, this group, the group that had no surgery, had the least amount of pain, the most amount of flexibility, so they stopped funding those surgeries, to give you an idea. But that's how powerful it is. And so it's even more than Harvard did a study where they took barbiturates, made these big red pills, and said, this is an amphetamine, you need to prepare your body because you're gonna speed up. They didn't give them something fake, they gave them an actual drug that slows the body down and the body sped up. So most people don't understand the power of the mind. And so what I try to do is show people, even in this book, here are the things that you can do to take control of your mind, because if you take care of your body and then you don't take care of your mind and emotions, you're gonna be miserable.
It was hard to be an entrepreneur, hard to build a business, try and build a brand, and it was a struggle. But one day someone encouraged me to start reading positive books. And I read The Power of Positive Thinking. And I read Think and Grow Rich. And I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read one book, positive thinking book after another. Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. The Richest Man in Babylon. I just started a reading campaign. And my business started to change when I started reading. And things started happening when I go to seminars. I started investing and going to seminars, spending the money. I couldn't afford to spend it, but I couldn't afford not to spend it. So I spent money and came to seminars, and that's why I encourage and I applaud all of you for taking time out of your business to come here, because it makes a difference. And that bridge from being broke and busted and disgusted started building. And I started building this bridge to success.
The journey about life and understanding what the true process is in life is understanding that you have to go through certain circumstances to get to a certain level in your life. Now, many people do not have the patience to go through this process, but you have to have the ability to trust the process instead of rushing the process. How much patience do you really have on your journey? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. We all go through these changes where we want that now. We want that right now. We need it at that moment. Maybe you have to pay a bill. Maybe you need that job that you've been working for so long trying to get it, but yet it hasn't happened yet. Maybe you worked so hard in your life and everyone rejected you, and you felt that you didn't have what it took to get to the level that you want in your life. This is the process that I'm talking about.
The journey you're embarking on here is not an easy path. It's not for the ill-hearted or the weak-natured. It's for the strong people. And before you embark on this journey, mentally, you have to prepare yourself for it. No one's going to get worse before it gets better. Every transformation always gets worse before it gets better. It's supposed to be that way.
How long does it take to learn to ride a bicycle? No one knows. You know, it's impossible to guess, but it's a process. And if you follow the process, and you follow the regime, and you have a little discipline, 100% you'll get into shape, but no one knows when. And business is the same, right? Which is, if you follow the process, there's a few things that are pretty stable, and you go through the motions. Sometimes it's quicker and sometimes it's slower, but don't worry if it's not meeting arbitrary goals. The trend data is much more important than the absolute targets. If you're trending in the right direction, be happy, regardless whether you hit the goal or not. It's a process. And I think business, we have to remember, for as much talent and beauty that there is and creativity that there is in building a business, some of it's discipline and rigor.
You're going to become ill or sick or destitute. Things are going to happen that you have no control of. And the only way that you can prepare yourself for unchosen suffering is with chosen suffering.
Right.
You can elect to put yourself into a position to become a stronger alloy of whatever the metal is that you're made of. And by purposefully choosing difficult things, you will armor yourself against that situation. It's still going to suck. But think about how much more fragile you would be if you hadn't overcome all of this stuff.
The third thing that I think is very important is to enjoy the journey, not the destination. A lot of us delay our happiness. When I get to this level, when I get my degree, when I get the kids, when I get married, I'm going to be happy. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the whole step, the whole process. Every day that you get up to strive for whatever it is you're after. You know, I'm a goal-oriented. But you don't celebrate when you get to the finish line. Celebrate all along the way. Celebrate all along the way.
We all think about quitting. It's hard. It's hard to process information during pain, because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself. That's not a rational thought. It's not a thought that's gonna get you through hard times. Most people fail that 1 second. In that 1 second, I start thinking logically. I calm my brain down, because your brain just wants to get out. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things back in the proper perspective, and then saying, I really do want to be here, and I'm going to have a bunch of these 1 seconds, and I have to learn to control these, because if I fail one of these 1 seconds, I will not be a SEAL, I will not be a doctor, I will not be a lawyer, I will not be whatever the fuck it is. It's all about your mind takes control of you. You have to say,
I'm sorry if maybe this is getting to you a little late, but what are you worrying about? What are you so stressed out about? Life is too short. Stop worrying. It's okay. Everything is supposed to be this way. You're supposed to feel this. It's part of the process. Life is supposed to be a journey, is it not? This is part of it. Take it, absorb it. It's all part of the process. Trust the process, my friend. Trust me when I say this. Trust the process. It's so important. Build your character and love yourself even when it's hard. I love you. Stay up. Stay up.
Whenever we feel stress, we feel frustration, anger, worry, sadness, loneliness, whatever, what most of us do is we try to focus on the outside world to change something so that we can feel good on the inside. When in reality, we just need to go work on the inside. When life strikes us and we feel that internal reaction to the external world, it's still what's going on inside.
In order to get through the next level,
you have to break through a glass ceiling. See, you can see stuff up here, but you got to break through a glass ceiling to get to the next level. But when you break through glass, there's going to be bloodshed. And the blood you shed is going to have to be something you care deeply about.
And what I've learned is there's every moment of your life, little things, you will watch your mind cause serious problems. What's the cost-benefit analysis of bothering myself about the driver in front of me? So you learn, and there are lots of techniques. My ultimate teaching, and it's yours also in a sense, is you relax. It's okay that this is happening. What you're doing is allowing the energy to release. The whole idea is you don't engage with it.
When I struggle or I get tired or when I get burned out, I know that having other people around me helps so much. You're looking at a hill in front of you by yourself. If I'm perceiving a hill I have to climb, my brain judges that hill as being 10 to 20% steeper than if I was doing a hill at the exact same height but standing next to a friend 3 feet apart from me. So even the existence of somebody else in my world changes my perspective on that objective reality. It makes those challenges I have in front of me seem less steep. You want that connection. You want to know that other people understand what you're going through.
I think that when you're stuck, you think you're the only one. One of the single biggest symptoms of depression is rumination, which is talking to yourself about your problems, which only makes it bigger. And, you know, I don't know if you two are interested or into manifesting and the brain science around that, or if as you're listening to us right now, if you are, but it is very real. Like, you are always manifesting your future. You're either doing it in the negative by worrying, or you are doing it in the positive. Because manifesting is nothing more, if you're doing it by the science and you're doing it correctly, is you wiring your brain to help you filter the world to see what you want to see more of. That's all that it is. And so if you are so stressed and stuck and isolated and in your thoughts, then you're continuing to see a world that reflects all of those things.
The bigger the stuff you ask God for, the greater the requirements. That's a hard life, man. I live my life in expectation. Therefore, guess what? He gives me what I expect. I expect a life of abundance. You think they take this show from under me? You think I'm finna crumble? Don't even worry about Steve Harvey. Don't you know he got something else for me? Something way bigger, something way better? The people make decisions, they think they crumbling me all the time. They've been making decisions about me for years out here. They can't do nothing with me. I keep showing up over and over and over.
Your number one wealth building tool is your income. All of the millionaires that we interview, unless they inherited the money, which is very, very few of them, less than 10% of them inherited the money, did it by saving and investing their income. They did not give their income to Sally Mae. They did not give their income to Best Buy. It's a mathematical thing. When you give your income to someone else, you don't have it anymore.
Don't let life fuck you up. It's yours. It's yours to drive. Get up in the morning, write down what you're gonna do in a day. Be happy on your way to your job, even if you don't like it.